And Mr. Ross.
Present.
Ms. Shotke is here. Ms. Williams.
Present.
Dr. Baker.
Here.
Ms. Davis.
Here.
Dr. Flores.
Present.
Ms. Lewis.
Present.
Reverend Matias is excused, and President Grant.
Present. Next, do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Wonderful. First up, we have celebrations this evening. Dr. Gorman?
Madam President, and members of the board, I would like to ask Mr. Kurt Johnson to come forward. He will be presenting on the Union High School Summer Learning Project.
Good evening, President Grant, Superintendent Dr. Gorman, and distinguished board members. It gives me great pleasure to have with me on this evening Justin Walker, who is the athletic director for Union High School. And what he's going to be doing is sharing an inspiring story of when a school program is in need and the students in that program rise up to help address that need and how they galvanize an entire community to come around and support that program. So with no further ado, I'll have Mr. Walker come up and his guests.
Share a mic with you, Cody. Good evening, Superintendent Gorman, President Grant, and our board members. As Mr. Johnson said, my name is Justin Walker. I am the proud athletic director at Union High School. It is my pleasure to be here tonight with Cody Garrison and Stephanie from the GR Summer Project. I want to take the time to share a little bit of information about Cody. Cody, this past summer, first of all, Cody is a senior and member of the varsity football and wrestling team at Union High School. This past summer, Cody took part in the GR Summer Project. Cody wanted to take on a project that was close and near and dear to his heart, but at the same time, he wanted to have an impact on his community. So this summer, Cody, along with a number of his teammates, volunteered at a number of events throughout the city. One was the summer reading, as well as the festivals that we had downtown. So these young men throughout the summer were moving tables, putting banners and all those type of things, as well as taking the time out to read to other GRPS students this summer. So Cody and his teammates amassed over 200 hours of community service this past summer, and they really had a huge impact on the community. Cody's goal this summer was to improve the community support around the football team. When the community seen Cody's impact in the community with his teammates and the things that they were doing, our community stepped up in a major way. They have donated a number of variety of resources such as bus passes, training equipment, as well as team meals for the football program this summer. So due to Cody's efforts and along with his teammates, they were able to, one, raise awareness about their program, and two, make an impact on our community. So we are very proud of Cody and his teammates that showed what it really is to be a GRPS student. Our mission, as you all know, is to be make sure all of our students leave here educated, self-directed, and productive members of society. And with Cody and his teammates this summer, you can be 100% certain that we are doing our job, and it's because we have a board like you all leading the charge. So I'm going to turn it over to Cody and let him share a few thoughts about the summer project, and then after that, we'll have Stephanie say a few words as well.
First off, I want to start off by saying thanks to the community. They supported us, and also GRPS. They had our back all the way. And it was a memorable season, even though the record wasn't what we were hoping it to be. I learned a lot of stuff. I met a lot of people in the community, and I built a lot of bonds. And that's thanks to all the people that supported us.
Thank you, Cody. And so now Stephanie, who is one of the lead project managers for the GR Summer Project, she'll have an opportunity to share some more information how other students can get involved with this project as well.
Yeah, so, wow, GRPS steps up every year. This year was amazing. You know, it shows us that when we provide access together, which we did with GR Summer Project, that students are ready to step forward into the light and really make a difference. Cody led the way. And yes, over 200 hours of community service, different cultural experiences, and inspiring other students to know that their voice is not only heard, that when everybody comes together like we all did here today, and thank you so much, that great impact can happen and bridges are built. And so, Cody, thank you so much for being such an inspiration every day. You've made such an impact in everybody's life, and me personally, I look so much up to you. And I'm looking forward to growing this platform together so more students next year can be involved and have access as well. And with GRPS's continued support, I know we can make that happen, and that's really exciting for me. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So if possible, we would love to have Cody get a couple pictures with the board members, as well as want to take the opportunity to recognize a few people that came to support Cody. First, we have his mother, Kara Garrison, and his grandmother, Stephanie Garrison, and right here behind him, as well as our varsity football coach, Mr. Rick Anksman, who is also a teacher in our building. Yeah, I'm about to say, however you see fit.
Normally, we make people sit for the whole meeting. Exception.
I'll get a picture for everybody. I would love for you to get pictures with Cody. All right, count of 3, 1. Oh, sorry. One,
Every event.
2, 3. Thank you.
So, President Grant, can I say something real quick?
Yes.
Cody, before you leave, so you made a great statement. You said that behind all along your trip, you had GRPS have your back, but you've had our back. So I've seen you everywhere, and you're always supporting GRPS and your students, fellow students. So anyway, appreciate it.
May I say something, Madam President? Just hold up for 1 second, please. Cody, Mrs. Garrison, I've seen you at everything. Every single thing I go to, you are there. And you provide so much support for Union and GRPS. So thank you. Thank your mom, Cody, your whole support team there. We couldn't do it without you. Coach, thank you as well. So we really appreciate you. Keep doing it. You're just doing such a wonderful job for our students and Cody. So thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. That sounded like the Dr. Gorman that I used to hear down the halls in Creston. I don't mind it. That's fine. Okay, next we have reports from our student representatives. Let's start with Ms. Benson from City High.
Sure. I have 3 celebrations to share with you guys. Our first celebration is that City has been awarded with the National Blue Ribbon Award. We are the first school in GRPS history to do so. My second celebration is that City is also a finalist for the National Title I Award. And lastly, City has had their first annual homecoming and field day with the new house system. And what a house system is that all grades 7 through 12 are divided into 4 groups, and we compete with each other.
Wonderful, thank you. Next, we have Ms. Val Mincho from,
Innovation Central.
yes, you wrote the.
That's Innovation Central.
Yes, from Innovation Central. Thank
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who came here tonight and everyone sitting here in the board. First of all, I wanted to thank Reverend Matias because he was a guest speaker at our annually Hispanic Heritage Month, and he came and he shared his story with each and every single one of us, and I really appreciated that. It meant a lot to me. I also want to congratulate Union soccer team. They won their district game. They went on to play semifinals. They won, and they made it all the way to finals. They lost, but I know for sure that they had a good season. And I will also like to talk about our the help and support system that Central has provided for all of us seniors. They have helped us with FAFSA night and karaoke night, and they just do a lot of after-school programs that gather all of us to come together and work on applications and scholarships. And this whole week is scholarship week for us, so I'm taking advantage of that, and I want to thank them for the opportunity that they give us to do so.
Thank you. We do not have public comment?
We do not have public comment.
We do not have public comment. Next, we have Secretary's report.
Good evening. I have 2 board committee meetings scheduled to update the board on. First, the legislative committee will be meeting on Monday, October 28 at 1 p.m. here at the administration building in room 101. And also on Monday, October 28, the finance committee will be meeting at 4:30 p.m. here in the board chambers at the administration building. And lastly, the School Choice Expo and Fall Harvest Festival is taking place on Tuesday, October 29, from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. at the Gerald R. Ford Academic Center, which is located at 851 Madison Avenue Southeast. All of the theme school principals will be in attendance to answer questions. Please be reminded that theme school applications must be submitted by November 29. That's a change this year. Please contact Student Services at 616-819-2150 for more information concerning the application process. That concludes the report.
Thank you. Superintendent's report.
Madam President, members of the board, I would like to ask Mr. Melvin Atkins to come forward. He is going to be sharing information on the Lights On After School program. Event.
Good evening, Superintendent Gorman, President Grant, and board members. I would like to introduce Rosie Holmes. She is the director of the Office of Extended Learning, and she's going to tell you about our annual Lights On event that's coming up.
Thank you. Good evening, President Grant, the Board of Education, Dr. Gorman. Grand Rapids Public Schools Loop After School program will be participating in the annual Lights On After School celebration. This is a nationwide celebration of all after-school programs. We will be one of more than 8,000 sites who will be sending the message that we need to keep the lights on and the doors open after school. We have parents, school officials, community officials, and we also have community agencies that we have invited to help spread this message. And we would like to invite you to be a part of our local celebration. Buchanan Elementary School will be our host site, and the celebration will occur from 4 o'clock to 5:30 p.m. in the gym. And we're inviting you to come and be a part of this great celebration. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a few action items for this evening. The first item is to vote on the Academy Schools process that we discussed last week in our work session. To give a brief overview of that, as a board, we discussed with administration the process for voting new academies into existence and the type of information that would be compiled, the process that it would go through to really groom what is a viable academy to add to the portfolio for GRPS, and that is the process that we would follow going forward. Does anyone have any discussion items, any thoughts that they would like to share before a vote on that process?
It's really just we spent a lot of time on this last week, but for the others that are in the room, so this is a reworking of the old Center of Innovation application process that was over a decade old. Most of us hadn't seen it for nearly that long, and we have a new board, so we spent time in the Academic Achievement Committee working with the administration to create an academy. If you remember, in January of last year, there was an academy announcement, the Hospitality Management, and then there was a newspaper article about future academies. Most of us on the board hadn't had much of a discussion about the names of those academies or what they would do, and so we decided that we would create a review process that would re-engage the board so that way we'd have ownership over actually what's happening in terms of this. Wasn't to say that there was not a conversation with the board prior, but the academies at Ottawa Hills High School came along soon after as part of the transformation plan, and it just kept going. And in the meantime, board members had changed and the community's understanding had changed. So we created this And it's actually, it should be fantastic. This should come to the board 18 months to a year prior to any announcement. We are a little bit late this year for the two that we will discuss after this in our next thing because of the timing, and we got this started. But in the future, we would expect this application to come to the board a minimum of a year, but preferably 18 months beforehand, so that way we would be able to prepare the resources, discussion. It would give the board a chance to say no in case, without having too much planning taking place prior to that work. So anyway, and it asks some key questions. Needs assessment, why is this academy needed? These would be presumably at Ottawa Hills High School, but they could be at other schools as well. What is the staffing needs? The expectation in terms of a market analysis, we would not be choosing an academy that only requires higher education to complete or only requires career. All academies would have career paths, would have pathways that would lead to higher education and or career. So this would be a vocational training only. It would have to be, and a measure of that would be what local universities are doing in relationship to that career. So projected enrollments, budgets, how we're going to communicate that. Another key part of the academies is that these academies should be ultimately a way to diversify our student bodies. So students should be coming from throughout the city rather than maintaining current neighborhood-based or perhaps segregated communities, and that we would be attracting people from throughout the city. All of those have to be included into a discussion of the proposal, which we have two examples of that we're voting on next. This would then become policy. We'll have to go through the policy committee, but this would become board policy that any academy would come through the board in a timely fashion.
Correct. Thank you, Dr. Baker. So that is a point that we are voting on the process this evening, and then we will again vote on the policy once it has been drafted. All right. Do I have a motion to approve the Academy Schools process?
So move.
Support?
All right, Ms. Shockey?
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Ms. Shockey, yes. Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Dr. Baker?
Yes.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Dr. Flores?
Yes.
Ms. Lewis?
Yes.
Reverend Matias is excused. President Grant?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next, we will vote on the two academies, but I am going to ask Dr. Gorman just to give a brief overview of the purpose of the academies. The first is Academy of Public Safety Services.
So, Madam President, members of the board, at our last meeting, we discussed two academies, the first of which is the Academy of Public Safety Services, AOPSS. There is an emphasis on this particular academy on fire, police, cybersecurity, private security, and also military. We see this as a position, a school where our students can get some foundational skills to go into any of the aforementioned positions that I discussed. It'll provide some foundational courses. There will be some dual enrollment opportunities, but there's truly an emphasis on some hands-on experiences where they can do some great work at Ottawa Hills High School. There will be, of course, NAF, which will help us write our curriculum like it's done before at Ottawa Hills. And I believe that you had a pretty comprehensive presentation by Mr. Lewis and Mr. Larry Johnson. If there are any outstanding questions at this time about this particular academy, I can absolutely field those at this time.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the Academy of Public Safety Services?
So moved. Support.
Ms. Shockey?
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Ms. Shockey, yes. Ms. Williams?
No.
Dr. Baker?
Yes.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Dr. Flores?
Yes.
Ms. Lewis?
Yes.
Reverend Matias is excused. President Grant?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next, we have the Academy of Media Production.
So this is another academy that they're very excited about. Our team went down to J. Everett Light Academy in Indianapolis and saw a comparable program. Again, this is the Academy of Media Production. Perhaps no industry is advancing and evolving as much as media production. Within this particular pathway, there is an introduction to media communications, digital media art and technology, audio production, video production, script writing, and 3D modeling and animation. We are hopeful that a tremendous amount will be done at Ottawa Hills High School, as much as an Ottawa Hills news service where students are providing the news to the student body every single day. We're hopeful that we'll one day get to a student-run radio station that will not only serve the school but also serve the greater community. We believe this will provide endless opportunities for the students at Ottawa Hills, and we're super excited about offering it with your approval.
Okay, do we have any discussion or questions around this academy? All right, do I have a motion to approve the Academy of Media Production?
So moved.
Support.
Ms. Shockey?
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Ms. Shotke, yes. Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Dr. Baker?
Yes.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Dr. Flores?
Yes.
Ms. Lewis?
Yes.
Reverend Matias is excused. President Grant?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda grouping?
So moved.
Support.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Ms. Shotke, yes. Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Dr. Baker?
Yes.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Dr. Flores?
Yes.
Ms. Lewis?
Yes.
Reverend Matias is excused. President Grant?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next, we have one quick discussion item, which is the superintendent search update. Tomorrow, we will have a meeting with the search firm, Ray and Associates, where we will discuss things such as timeline, process, salary, and a few other key items. So I am excited to have that conversation with you all. Do we have public comment for non-agenda items?
We do not.
All right, so superintendent's comments.
No comment.
Dr. Flores?
Just to use again my board privilege of recognizing the passing of my aunt, who was a parent of at least 6 children who attended Grand Rapids Public Schools and served this district faithfully in a number of roles, including managing buildings and contributing. My aunt, Yolanda Garcia, was also an active parent in the PTA councils for North Park Elementary, and miss her dearly.
Our condolences. Dr. Baker?
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. No comment.
No comment.
No comment.
Ms. Shockey?
No comment?
Ms. Williams?
I would like to thank the board for acknowledging and celebrating the Grand Rapids chapter of the NAACP 100th year celebration. So I think that was pretty awesome. And again, that those kind of connections can be made to really let our community know that this is a district that is invested in the diversity of the community. So.
Ms. Lewis? No comment. All right, I have no comment. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.